From Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts, this is Braves Baseball. Alongside Jordan Palacio, I'm Sam Wiederhaft. The Braves had their three-game winning streak snapped last night in a 4-2 loss at Wareham, who holds the top spot in the West. The bats went cold for the first time in a while, and Jordan, it doesn't get much easier tonight.
No, going up against the Falmouth Commodores right now, 7 points above the Braves in the West Division for that third-place spot. The Braves will be going up against Franco Alaman, who is 1-0 on the season. And get this, Sam, he's yet to give up an earned run on the entire year through 16 innings. He's given up 3 runs. However, all of them, like I said, go unearned. 12 strikeouts. The Braves are going to have their hands full tonight with the Falmouth Commodores.
And Bourne has had their 2 best performances of the season against the Falmouth Commodores, a 10-0 win earlier in the season and a 14-0 win this past Monday. But, Jordan, what can we expect from this lineup tonight?
Well, we would hope a little bit better of a game than against the Gatemen last night, only scoring 2 runs off of 4 hits. You look at the lineup, there's not a real weak spot in the lineup. This is one of the better lineups we've seen from manager Harvey Shapiro. So I think it's the simple. We've seen it a lot against the Commodores of getting on base and then being able to bring the runners home. That's something they couldn't do last night. And if they're going to win today, that's something that they have to do.
The Commodores have one of the best lineups in the Cape League this summer, and it's all led by Zach DeLoach, who, Jordan, has taken the league by storm this year.
Yeah, he has, and after having a pretty subpar year at Texas A&M as well, only hitting for around the Mendoza line at around 200, he's hitting 420 here, talking about a 220-point difference, and he is really the big anchor point for this lineup, along with Hayden Cantrell, Blake Dunn, Trey Cruz, Taylor Smith had a huge night last night for the Falmouth Commodores, and Colby Dunlop, who's getting the start today, is really going to have to be on his A game if he wants to silence this very potent Falmouth offense.
All right, there's clouds rolling in here at Gov Fuller Field, but no raindrops yet. Lineups and first pitch from Gov Fuller Field are coming up next. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. Storm clouds continue to come in, but still not a raindrop. I know that's a little bit of a curse, but we seem to be all right now.
A little bit of a jinx.
We're fine. Let's take a look at how the Braves will line up here for tonight's ball game. Leading off will be Judd Fabian. He'll be in left field today. Xavier Warren, the third baseman, is back to his 2 spot. Kay Beloso in the 3. He's playing first base. Jackson Greer in cleanup. He'll be catching today. Cody Morrison at second. Jimmy Glowenke at short. Brendan Rivoli back in the starting lineup. He's in right field. Jared Pohl in the DH. And rounding it out will be Giovanni DiGiacomo. He'll be in center field. And for the second time this season, Jordan, they'll be facing off against Franco Alleman.
Yeah, and Alleman so far on the season with a 1-0 record. He picked up that 1 win against the Braves back on June 29th when he threw 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, but no runs. And that's the key thing with this guy right here is that he is not allowed an earned run all season long. His last start, July 6th, at Brewster, the 4-3 Falmouth win. He went 5 strong, giving up 3 runs. However, like I said, none of them earned, and he's going to be somebody that is going to be really tough for these Braves to get at. He gave up 6 hits, like I said, in that Bourne start a couple weeks ago, but since then, it's been pretty quiet off the bat of Alleman. So for the Braves, get on base and get on base often. That's going to be the key to this game.
Alleman warming up right now in the right field bullpen for the Falmouth Commodores. How the Commodores line up defensively, it's Matthew Nelson behind the plate. He's catching. Taylor Smith at first. Hayden Cantrell will be playing second. Kevin Kendall at short. Trey Cruz playing third. Tim Tawa in left field. Blake Dunn in center. And Zach Deloach, the league's leading average at .420, will be in right field today. Of course, Franco Alleman will be the starting pitcher for the Commodores. The Braves come into this game with a 10-win, 15-loss record. Falmouth just 1 spot ahead of them in the West. Falmouth is in third. Braves are in fourth. The Commodores have a 13-win, 10-loss, and 1 tie record, coming off a big win against Chatham where, Jordan, they put up 15 runs in that game.
Yes, they did, and 8 of them were off the bat of Taylor Smith. 8 RBIs in that game, and that's what this Falmouth team can do to you if you let them. We've seen them go off for some big games, but guess what? The Braves have also had some of their biggest games of the season against this Falmouth team. 10 runs earlier in the season, and then, of course, last time these two teams met back on Monday, Sam, was a 14-0 win.
Both teams still waiting to take the field. Judd Fabian, of course, leading it off for the Braves, and he's coming off 2 rough performances. He's 0 for 8 in his past 8 at-bats ever since his 3-run home run against the Catuit Kettleers. So Judd Fabian looks to get things back to how he's used to hitting here today as the Falmouth Commodores will take the field. It's pretty overcast here with a temperature of the probably high 70s, low 80s. Very humid feel for tonight's ball game. Commodores wearing their red jerseys as they are the home team. Every Friday, the home team wears the red Cape Cod Baseball League jerseys with the camouflage hats. Supporting our troops overseas, the Braves in their blue uniforms, red lettering, gray pants. Awaiting to start this game. Braves, of course, losing last night to Wareham 4-2 after winning the past 3 games. The first time the Braves have won 3 games in a row. And it all started with that 14-0 victory on Monday against these Falmouth Commodores.
And in that 14-0 game, like I said, Sam, they were able to get on base early. Now, you might say that they were going up against the bottom of the rotation from the Falmouth pitching staff, and that's a fair point. So now we see what they can really do. Their second time going up against Alleman on the season. He gave up 6 hits in that start back on the 29th of June, but has yet to give up an earned run, and we'll find out if the Braves can be the first team to do that to him.
Falmouth took down the top team in the league, the Chatham Anglers, who have a 15-11-1 record last night, 15-6. Scored 15 runs on 18 hits as we are just about ready to get this one underway. Judd Fabian will lead it off for the Braves as he steps up to the batter's box against Franco Alleman. Fabian, of course, coming off an 0-for-4 performance against Wareham with 3 strikeouts. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup to start things off here tonight at Gov Fuller Field, Falmouth, Massachusetts. Alleman in the windup, fires the first pitch to Fabian. It's off speed and low for a ball, and we are underway here in the 26th game of the season.
It feels like it's flying by, hasn't it, Sam? Already 26 of the way through.
1-0 is low. A 2-0 count now to Judd Fabian. 286 average, 16 for 56 so far. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. He's had 3 3-hit games this year. Holloman the windup now fires the 2-0. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. Now a 2-1 count to the Braves' leadoff hitter.
Yeah, and so a couple off speed there in the early goings throughout the first 3 pitches. Fabian going to be sitting on a fastball here from Holloman.
2-1 from Holloman. It's off speed, just catching the zone on the outside part of the plate. That evens things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Judd Fabian started in center field last night. Had a little bit of a wrist injury in the middle of that game, attempting to dive for a ball in center field. Returned to action and seems to be okay today. The 2-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. And in 2 games for Judd Fabian, that's now his 4th strikeout.
Yeah, and the off speed there already working for Holloman on the mound. Made Fabian look a little bit silly there. Had him way out in front of that breaking ball.
Fabian is now tied with the team lead of 18 strikeouts to this man right here, Xavier Warren, who last time he played here hit a home run. First pitch to Warren is right back over the left field side, over the outstretched glove of Kevin Kendall, and Xavier Warren will get on with a leadoff or a 1-out single.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Warren, just taking the ball where it's pitched. It's on the outer half, so he takes it to the other way, and it just passed the outstretched glove of Kevin Kendall, making a dive on it. Now it's a much-needed bat back in this lineup after getting the night off yesterday, and Cade Beloso.
Beloso did get the night off. Appeared in the field in the later innings, but never got an at-bat, so he'll be playing back in the lineup today. Playing his typical first base. Nick Bruiser got the start at first base yesterday. Righty on lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch from Holloman. It's off speed. Called a ball low. 1-0. Beloso on the season, a .310 average. 13 for 42, a home run, 2 RBIs. He's reached base in 13 straight games. 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And it looks like Holloman going to be working pretty low here to Beloso, trying to get that ground ball double play on. We saw the Braves hit into 4 double plays last night against Wareham, one of which ended that game, a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Jimmy Glowinski to save the Gateman from potentially blowing a save.
Yeah, Glowinski has a team-high 4 RBIs. The 2-0 is a called strike on the off-speed from Holloman. 2-1 now, count now to Beloso. Xavier Warren, the last time he played here, of course, had the home run. 3 for 5 performance, 4 RBIs. Now has a team-leading RBI number with 17. Throw back to first. Warren's back in time. The Braves had a streak of scoring over 3 runs in their past 8 games. That was broken last night by only scoring 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Beloso. It's low, bounces in the dirt. Matthew Nelson saves it, and it's now a 3-1 count on Beloso.
And we've seen a lot of off speed there from Holloman, and he goes fastball on that one, misses in the dirt low. And on a 3-1 count here to Beloso, don't want to make a mistake. We know Beloso definitely has the power to take it out of the park here, so I imagine he's going to try and work another breaking ball off speed, something low here, and he's not too bothered if he walks him.
Holloman comes set now, fires the 3-1 pitch. That ball falls low, and Cade Beloso will be on with his first at-bat. He walks.
Yeah, Cade Beloso, he's the base magnet for a reason, Sam. He gets on base almost every single time, and now for Cade Beloso, you can make that 14 out of 15 games for him up at the plate. He gets on base, and now here comes tonight's catcher in Jackson Greer.
And Beloso walks for the 12th time this year. That's a number that's tied for 10th place in the league. Extremely impressive for a player that just joined this team a few weeks ago. First pitch to Jackson Greer is a fastball strike down the middle. Greer catching today after getting the night off in the field last night. Didn't catch, but he did go 1 for 3 in the DH spot. An RBI, and was also caught stealing. 286 average coming into this game, and the last time he played against Falmouth, hit a grand slam in the 8th inning. That made it a 14-0 Braves win. The 0-1 pitch is a drive out to left center field. That ball will get down. Xavier Warren rounds third. He'll be coming home. It's another RBI for Jackson Greer, and the Braves get on top first 1-0.
Well, there we saw it. We saw the first earned run given up by Franco Alleman. We said that the Braves are going to have to do it in order to get a win here. And Jackson Greer, it's interesting. We saw a lot of off speed from Franco Alleman, and Jackson Greer, that's the pitch he wants to see up there at the plate. He is a self-described good off-speed hitter. He got that off-speed on the 0-1 pitch and took it into left field for an RBI single.
For Greer, that's now his 9th RBI on the year. The Braves on top 1-0. Now it's Cody Morissette. He comes up for the first time today. First pitch he sees is a fastball falling low. 1 ball and strike count. And now Matthew Nelson will have a meeting with his pitcher on the mound. First earned run given up by Alleman all year. And for Morissette, he had his 8-game hit streak snapped last night. Went 0 for 2, had a run scored. He reached base on a walk. 1 strikeout, also got hit by a pitch and caught stealing against Wareham. He's gotten a hit in 11 of his past 13 games. 10 RBIs in his last 9 as Matthew Nelson goes back behind the plate. Plate umpire Joe Peters signals to play back. Here's the second pitch. The 1-0 is a grounder that'll skip into right field. Cade Beloso will be held up over at third. It's a single for Cody Morissette, and the Braves load him up now for Jimmy Glowacki.
Yeah, another good piece of hitting there from the Braves. Morissette just taking the ball right in between Cantrell and Smith over on the right side of the infield. And Zach Deloge out in right field actually kicked a little bit. But, of course, Art Shapiro, who held Beloso at third, didn't know that he was going to do that, had to assume that he was going to make an accurate throw. So now Jimmy Glowacki here in a situation where we could really break this one open here in the first inning. However, of course, I'll have to be wary of that double play threat as well.
Bases loaded, just 1 out on Judd Fabian's leadoff strikeout. It's now Jimmy Glowacki. Here's the first pitch from Alleman. It's off speed that Glowacki flies down the right field line. Deloach is moving towards it. He'll get under it. Cade Beloso will tag up. He's heading home. There's no throw home. Cade Beloso reaches safely, and it's now a 2-0 lead for the Braves.
Jimmy Glowacki just doing his job right there, getting the run in. He'll go as an RBI sac fly, and the Braves now with a big 2-0 lead. Both of them earned against Alleman, who had yet to do so, and now here's Brennan Revoli with an opportunity to pick up another RBI for himself.
And for Glowacki, that's his 3rd sacrifice fly this year. Make that 9 RBIs for him as well, and now it's Revoli. Runners on first and second, now 2 outs. Revoli a 108 average. First pitch, fastball inside, called a ball. Last game he played was the win against Hyannis. He came in a pinch hit performance, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's 4 for 37 this year. Here's the 1-0 from Alleman. Off speed outside. Revoli is now ahead 2-0.
And this is a good position for Revoli to be in here. 2-0, you'd have to imagine he's going to see a fastball and most likely will find the zone for a strike. So if there's a pitch to go after here in this at-bat, I think this is going to be the one to do so.
3 hits already for the Braves in the inning, and Revoli flies a ball over in foul territory. Third base side, that'll fall foul into the seats. It's now a 2-1 count to the Braves right fielder. We've seen many different right fielders take over that spot. Kyler Fedko, Kyle Hess, now Revoli today.
Yeah, it's a little bit of just a revolving door over there in the outfield. We know Fabian's pretty much locked down that center field spot, although he gets to start in left field today. He's an everyday starter, just everybody else still fine for those starts.
2-1 from Alleman. He kicks and fires, and Revoli, a fastball down the left field line going foul. And the count will now even up 2-2.
Yeah, close there from Revoli. Just sliced too far foul. If that ball had managed to stay fair, would have likely scored both Greer on second and Morissette on first. Little unlucky now he's going to have to look after the off-speed here at the count 2-2 and be very wary of not going after something out of the zone.
Revoli with just 3 RBIs this season. He has a good chance to extend to that here in this at-bat. The 2-2 pitch from Alleman. It's off-speed, and he fouls it back toward the backstop. Revoli stays alive, 2-2. He's rocking the tweeners again, Joran. The pants that kind of come up halfway between the knee and the foot. Shows a little bit of sock.
Well, I mean, it looks like he's got the high waters on. You know, the flood, those jeans that are not quite long enough, but
yeah,
it's anything you can have a slump, and he's been having it work for him so far.
2-2 pitch to Rivoli is an off-speed pitch, fly out over in foul territory, third base side. Trey Cruz is moving towards it. It'll fall. He tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory, and it bounces. So Rivoli fouls off another pitch. It's still 2-2.
He's doing a good job here. He's putting up a battle. We might see Alleman miss the zone here on this 2-2 pitch. And in that case, it brings us to a 3-2 situation. Rivoli swinging at anything close here, just going to choke up on the bat, try and put something in play.
Alleman in 16 innings pitched did not give a single earned run, and he's already given up 2 in this top of the first inning. He comes set. The righty kicks and fires the 2-2. It's a ground ball on the right field side. Cantrell. No, it's picked up by Smith. Throw back to first to a covering Alleman is in time. Rivoli is retired, but the Braves put 2 runs on the board on 3 hits. It's an RBI from Jackson Greer and a sac fly by Jimmy Glowenke. 2-0 lead for the Bourne Braves. We head to the bottom half of the first. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Early 2-0 lead for the Bourne Braves approaching the bottom of the first. And let's take a look at how the Falmouth Commodores line up for tonight's ball game. Leading it off will be Hayden Cantrell playing second. Blake Dunn in the 2 spot. He's in center field. Zach DeLoach, the league leading average. He's in right. Trey Cruz bats cleanup. He's at third base. Taylor Smith at first. Barron Ratcliffe, the DH. Matthew Nelson, the catcher. Kevin Kendall batting eighth. He's at short. And Tim Tawa will be in left field today. He rounds out the lineup in the 9 spot. And Jordan, it's Colby Dunlop making his 3rd start of the season.
Yeah, Dunlop in his last start went up against Hyannis in the first game of that doubleheader last Saturday. So he's had a full week to rest, about 6 days. He threw 3 innings, giving up 3 earned runs off of 6 hits. Comes into the game with an 0-1 record of 4.62 ERA and just under 12 innings pitched, and has the opportunity here to earn his first win already with a couple runs of run support.
So leading it off will be Hayden Cantrell for the Falmouth Commodores out of Louisiana Lafayette. You'll see Colby Dunlop for the first time. The righty kicks and fires the first pitch. It's a fastball strike. Cantrell on the season with a high .337 average. 28 hits and 83 at-bats, has 4 doubles, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Dunlop. It's a high floater in the shallow center field area. DiGiacomo is moving in. It'll fall in front of him. A leadoff single for Hayden Cantrell, and the Commodores already put a base runner on.
Yeah, that's what's to watch out for with this team is, you know as well as I, Sam, that the Commodore bats can strike at any point, putting up 15 runs in their game last night, and they're looking to carry that momentum into tonight's ball game.
And now it's Blake Dunn, who had one of the hits in the 18-hit performance last night against Chatham. Went 1 for 5, a run scored, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Dunn has a .261 average on the year. Colby Dunlop comes set. Dunn turns around to bunt. The pitch is a called strike. Jackson Greer, the catcher, immediately got up and looked toward first, but no throw. Starts off the center fielder with an 0-1 count. Dunn with 1 double on the year, 9 RBIs. He's walked 16 times, struck out 26. The 0-1 pitch is off speed in the zone for a strike, and Dunlop has the lead 0-2.
And that's good from Colby Dunlop there to find the zone. And you have Cantrell on first base, who's already stolen 12 bases, and Dunn himself has taken 11. So between those two guys, 23 stolen bases would be good to not let both of them on.
Here's the 0-2. It's in the dirt. Dunn doesn't offer for it. It's a called ball. 1-2 strike count now. Blake Dunn from Western Michigan, a rising junior. 11 stolen bases on his part. That's more than the Braves have as a team. Dunlop comes set, hands meet at the belt. The 1-2 delivery's off speed, and Dunn fouls it off. Still a 1-2 strike count.
And for Dunlop, at a 1-2 count, we'll see him probably use a waste pitch here, not wanting to give Dunn anything too good to hit.
Here's the 1-2. Dunn lines it over in the left field side. That ball is in for a single. Judd Fabian will field it. It's 2 back-to-back singles for the Commodores, and they have runners on first and second.
Yeah, it looks like Dunlop missed his spot there. That was supposed to be a fastball high, and it was not high enough because Dunlop's velocity is not going to blow you away just by itself. So the location matters, and that was just about under the letters. The single taken right past Glowacki into left field, and it's something to watch for, Sam, is going to be the outfield grass. Is very thick after the rain that we had early in the wee hours of the morning. It really slowed the ball up there on Fabian, who had to really adjust to coming to that round quickly.
Now it's Zach DeLoach facing Colby Dunlop for the first time. The first pitch is a fastball that DeLoach flies out to left field. Fabian's under it. He will make the play for the first out of the inning, and that is a very important first out off the bat of Zach DeLoach, who leads this league in average, 420. The second closest is Wyatt Young at 372.
And throughout the first 2 times he's played them, DeLoach has only been 2 for 7 against the Braves. Now he falls to 2 for 8. And now for Dunlop, he's just a ground ball away here from a double play being turned and still maintaining that lead.
Cantrell at second, Blake Dunn at first. Trey Cruz, the third baseman, will step up. Celebrated a birthday just a week ago. First pitch is a fastball strike from Dunlop. Dunlop stares down Jackson Greer. Trey Cruz from Rice University, a rising junior. Dunlop comes set, now fires the 0-1 pitch, and Cruz flies that ball to center field. Giacomo is moving back on it. It will get over his head. Cantrell, who stopped at second, will now be waved home. Coming to third is Blake Dunn. He's stopped. It's a double for Trey Cruz, and the Commodores get on the board. It's 2-1.
Well, this looks like it might be a slugfest here tonight. Trey Cruz taking that right over Giovanni DiGiacomo's head, easily scoring Hayden Cantrell. Dunn being held at third. And it looked like off the bat, maybe DiGiacomo just didn't have a good read on it. He was just kind of jogging back there, thought it would have been catchable. Maybe the wind might have taken over his head. Doesn't matter now because runners on second and third, only 1 out here now with the hottest hitter, I think, in the league right now in Taylor Smith.
Taylor Smith, 5 home runs for him on the year. That is tied for second place in the league. Had a home run last night, 2 RBIs, a 2-for-6 game in the 15-6 win for the Commodores. First pitch is off speed, high and tight. 1 ball, no strike count now to Taylor Smith. It's Trey Cruz at second, Blake Dunn at third. 2-1 lead for the Braves. Both teams putting at least 1 run here in the first inning. Dunlop now comes set. The 1-0 pitch to Smith is high. Now a 2-0 count.
Yeah, 2-0. You don't want to make a mistake to Smith. We know the type of power that he possesses. However, you don't necessarily want to walk him, too. Of course, you have first base open, but you have an even hotter hitter on deck in Barron Radcliffe. 8 RBIs last night, including 2 home runs, one of which being a grand slam. Have to get an out here if you're Dunlop.
Kicks and fires the 2-0. It's a fastball low. And Taylor Smith has a big lead in this at-bat. It's 3-0.
Yeah, so this will be Smith taking all the way here on this 3-0 count. No reason for him to swing. So I think no matter where this pitch is from Dunlop, he's going to want you go by with his bat on his shoulder.
Dunlop having some trouble against this Falmouth lineup. The 3-0 pitch is a fastball in the middle of the zone for a strike. Now 3-1.
So now Now Smith saw the fastball right down the middle. Well, let's see how Dunlop approaches the at-bat from here. Does he go off speed here on the one, try and get him to go early, just challenge him here with another fastball?
Falmouth, the hottest team in the Cape League. If you're talking about the past 10 games, they have the best record at 7-3. Dunlop comes set. Kicks and fires the 3-1 pitch. That's low, and Taylor Smith watches it. The appeal, he did not go. A little bit of confusion. They thought that it was a called strike, but Smith is now headed over to first, and the Falmouth Commodores have loaded the bases here in the first.
Yeah, tough call for John Petula, the first base umpire, who is located in the B position. Of course, for umpiring, the B position is just in front of second base on the first base side of the pitcher's mound. And now Baron Radcliffe steps up with another chance. Have you ever seen 2 grand slams in 2 games? Because we have the opportunity for it right now.
Radcliffe, 8 RBIs in his last game against Chatham. First pitch is a high fastball called a strike. On the season, Radcliffe has 2 home runs, both coming last night in his 13 games played. A .216 average, 12 RBIs, 8 of those coming last night. He struck out 16 times and walked 5. Dunlop, the 0-1 delivery. Radcliffe, a hard swinging strike, and he's now behind in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, he saw fence right there, 100%. Gave a big swing at that one. Now he's in the hole here, 0-2. Let's see how Dunlop decides to attack. Will he go off speed here or waste, or try and just finish him off right now?
Radcliffe, a rising junior out of Georgia Tech, facing Colby Dunlop from UConn. Dunlop staring down Jackson Greer, and now time is called. Dunlop couldn't find a sign that he liked. Dunn at third, Trey Cruz at second, Taylor Smith at first. 2-1 lead for the Braves. We're only in the bottom of the first. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Radcliffe. He barely gets a bat on it and fouls it back to the backstop. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
That was a dangerous pitch there from Colby Dunlop. It was that same fastball that he threw to Blake Dunn, who took it into left field for a single. Now you'd imagine he has to go off speed here after showing an 0-2 fastball.
The 0-2 delivery from Dunlop. It's high, and Radcliffe will foul it out. Back behind the press box. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Radcliffe for Georgia Tech, only batting .195 this past year. Had 4 home runs in his 23 hits, 5 doubles, 16 RBIs. He was a 40th round pick in 2017 by the Atlanta Braves. Now Dunlop, the 0-2 delivery to him. Radcliffe fouls it off again, and he is putting together quite the 0-2 at-bat.
Yeah, and Dunlop has gone high with all of these pitches here that Radcliffe has tied up. I'd like to see him go low, little low here. Try and work that something at the knees, maybe even below. See if he bites on it, and even at the worst, if he hits it, he's going to be hitting it straight into the ground.
Just 1 out in the inning. Bases loaded for the Falmouth Commodores. The 0-2 delivery from Dunlop sails high. Jackson Greer pops up and catches it. 1 ball and 2 strike count now.
Yeah, it looked like Dunlop missed a spot badly there. Looked like Greer was setting up down and away, and that one almost overthrew Jackson Greer, the catcher, way up top. Now at 1-2, Dunlop's still only ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
This is the 7th pitch of the at-bat. The 1-2 is fouled off toward the Commodore dugout. And we'll do it again. Radcliffe has fouled off now 4 pitches from Dunlop with 2 strikes. Lights already on here at Gov Fuller Field. Braves putting up 2 runs in the top half of the first. The Commodores already 1 run home. Now looking to really get a lead, but the bases loaded, only 1 out. Here's the pitch from Colby Dunlop. Radcliffe screams that ball to right field. That ball gets down the line. In comes Blake Dunn. Trey Cruz being waved around. Taylor Smith will stop at second. It's a 2 RBI double for Baron Radcliffe, his 10th RBI in 2 games.
And he took that pitch. He roped it right down the right field line. It was a fastball that stayed up, and just like with Blake Dunn, too close for him to hit. Instead of taking it into left field, this time Baron Radcliffe takes it into right field. Rivoli, who in right field didn't have a chance to it, had to play it off the fence out there. And we already have 5 runs in this first inning. This is reminding me of a game last night, Sam. It's
now Matthew Nelson Last night it was 2 runs for the Braves and 2 runs for the Gatemen in the first inning. Now Falmouth taking the lead. Runners on second and third. Taylor Smith at third. Baron Radcliffe at second. Dunlop only 1 out in the inning. First pitch to Nelson is a low fastball. 1 ball and no strike count. Nelson, a rising sophomore from Florida State, has only played in 5 games this year. The 1-0 pitch to him is taken to center field to Giacomo, moving in. He'll make the play. Coming home is Taylor Smith. The throw home will not be in time. The throw over to third is not in time as well as Radcliffe gets to third. It's now a 4-2 lead for the Falmouth Commodores.
Yeah, so a little fly ball out to center field to Giacomo, making the catch on the run. His throw just pulls Jackson Greer off the plate to where once Greer got it, he had no choice because he was off the plate, couldn't make a tag. Throw down to third to Xavier Warren. Baron Radcliffe had advanced already there off the throw from DeGiacomo because he went all the way home, and now only a base hit now away from seeing a 5-run first inning.
First pitch to Kevin Kendall is a fastball high from Dunlop, 1-0. Kendall, the shortstop today, playing in his 13th game, a 184 average, rising junior from UCLA. Dunlop kicks and fires the 1-0 pitch. It's low. Now 2 balls and no strikes. And for Dunlop, it's not necessarily that he's struggling with location too much. It's just that this Falmouth lineup is getting so much contact in the right places.
Well, and it looks like he's missed a couple spots out there, too. We've seen everything miss high from Dunlop so far today, so just struggling just finding that right release point, I think.
2-0 pitch to Kendall is high and tight. Now a 3-0 count.
Yeah, you'll notice that Dunlop, he hasn't missed with his pitches low. Everything has been up around the letters or even higher. So I think with a guy like his velocity, I think it'd be real crucial for him to get his pitches down.
3-0 pitch is a fastball down the middle for the first strike of the at-bat, clocking in at 90 miles an hour.
And that's an important pitch there from Dunlop because that was the first one he was able to keep below the belt, worked on the outer half of the plate. Now has to go out and throw another one here on 3-1.
The 3-1 delivery ground ball going foul. On the Falmouth side, the count will now run full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Braves put a quick 2 runs up in the top of the first, and Falmouth comes back with 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Dunlop kicks and fires the 3-2 delivery. It's low, and it's a walk to Kevin Kendall. That will be the second walk of the inning, and runners are now at the corners for Tim Tawa.
And we'll have Ace Adams come out, and I was just about ready to say I can't believe we haven't seen Ace Adams go out there. His starter's already given up 4 runs. Here, runners on the corners now for the Commodores, and going up against someone like Tim Tawa up at the plate, who will make you pay if you make a mistake, just like the rest of this Falmouth team. Already scoring 19 runs in the last 2 games. They're on to a similar start like they were last night.
And the Braves rank second in the entire Cape League in runs allowed with just 95. So a high-scoring performance given up by this Braves pitching staff is not characteristic. But already the Commodores scoring 4 in the bottom of the first inning. That's the most since we saw Wareham put 5 in the bottom of the first against Josh Culliver. So here's Tim Tawa, rising sophomore from Stanford. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Colby Dunlop. The first pitch is skied. Foul territory on the first base side. Kay Beloso is under it right by the line. He will put it away for the final out. But the Falmouth Commodores respond to the Braves' 2 runs with 4 runs of their own on 4 hits. 4-2 lead for Falmouth. We head to the second inning. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Braves already having to battle back from a deficit. 4-2 lead for Falmouth. Now in the top of the second inning, it's Jared Poland, Giovanni DiGiacomo, and back to the top with Judd Fabian due up in this top half of the second inning. Here's the first pitch from Franco Alleman on Poland. It's a fastball down the middle, clocking in about 88 miles an hour for a strike.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for pitchers having to sit after throwing it in. Let's see how Alleman responds.
0-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Poland. He falls behind 0-2. Poland, a .261 average, went 0-1 in a pinch hit appearance last night with a strikeout against Wareham. The 0-2 pitch is a grounder over to first, picked up by Taylor Smith. He'll reach over and tag the bag with his left foot for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, after Poland started the season off getting on and hitting in his first 5 games, he's now gone 0 in the past 2 appearances. Of course, one of those being in a pinch hit appearance last night. Now it falls on to Giovanni DiGiacomo, who will likely see probably square up and try and bunt here on this first pitch.
DiGiacomo loves to show bunt on the first pitch, the left-handed batter. Alleman into the windup. DiGiacomo does not show bunt on that first pitch, and he watches for ball 1 outside.
And it's something definitely to watch for as this at-bat goes on here. If he has a 2-0 lead or something along those lines, because Braves need base runners. I'd love to see a speedy guy like DiGiacomo try and bunt his way on.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to DiGiacomo, a hard swing strike on a fastball that was upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike now. DiGiacomo, a .250 average. He's 5 for his first 20. Doesn't typically get the start in the outfield, usually used as a pinch hitter. But he starts today. The 1-1 is off speed that DiGiacomo just gets contact on. Fouls it toward the backstop. Now he falls behind 1-2.
And he did a nice job adjusting to that pitch as well. That was off speed, started to swing and had to hold up and just did well to foul it off. Now he's got to do that again here if he wants to see another pitch.
Alleman shakes off a sign. Now the 1-2 delivery to DiGiacomo is cut on and missed for strike 3. That's the first strikeout or second strikeout of the evening for Franco Alleman. DiGiacomo goes down.
And his first strikeout came up against Judd Fabian, who steps into the batter's box right now. And DiGiacomo, no chance on that fastball. Way behind it, popping in the glove at around the high 80s, low 90s. Now here's Fabian, who try and get his first hit since that 3-run home run.
First pitch is off speed to Fabian. He watches outside for ball 1. Ever since his 3-run shot at Katuitt, he's 0 for 9. Looking for his first hit in this stretch. The 1-0 delivery is a fastball that he takes right over to shortstop Kevin Kendall on the line out for the third out of the inning. Hard hit ball by Judd Fabian, just right to where Kevin Kendall was at. So after the Braves put 2 runs up in the top half of the first inning, it's a little bit of an easier inning for Franco Alleman on the mound. No runs, no hits for the Bourne Braves. They go down in order. 4-2 lead for the Falmouth Commodores. We approach the bottom of the second inning. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Back to where we started. It's 1-2-3 due up for the Falmouth Commodores in this bottom half of the second. Hayden Cantrell, Blake Dunn, and Zach DeLoach. And Jordan, Colby Dunlop on the mound, a rough first inning, allowing 4 runs.
Yeah, it's the longest first inning since that first Wareham game at Spillane Field when we saw Culver give up 5 runs. Be real important here. Dunlop is only down by 2 runs here. Real important to see him have a nice inning, go only against 4 to 5 hitters here.
Here's the first pitch to the leadoff batter, Hayden Cantrell. He flies out toward the seats and gets out of the park. 0-1 count to the leadoff batter. Cantrell actually ranks 6th in average in the league, and I feel a raindrop. Looks like it might be starting to come down here at Gov Fuller Field. Here's the 0-1 fire from Colby Dunlop. It's upstairs, and the count evens 1 ball and 1 strike.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. This is the calm before the storm. However, the storm is at our doorstep.
Reminds me of Hyannis.
Yeah,
just
me too.
about a little less than a week ago. 1-1 pitch from Dunlop on Cantrell. It's a ground ball over to second. Morrison moving to his left side. He can't pick it up. It hits his glove and stays right where he hit it. Cantrell will be on. We'll see if they ruled out an error or a hit. But Cantrell is on with a leadoff base runner.
That's exactly how this inning started, as we're still waiting on the ruling. The raindrops coming in just a little harder now. Already a delay so far in Hyannis. That game delayed between the Harbor Hawks and the Orleans Firebirds. Wareham hasn't started yet, but we've heard it's pouring over there as well.
First pitch to Blake Dunn. Cantrell thinks like he's stealing, and Dunn screams a foul ball third base side. Lucky that one went foul. They dual rule it as a hit. So Cantrell now has 2 hits, 2 for 2. And Dunn has no 1 count.
2 for 2 with 2 singles in the first 2 innings.
Dunlop comes set, fires back over to first, almost goes wild. Kate Beloso has to step off the bag for it.
It's definitely an interesting story to watch here. It rained a ton in the early hours of the morning here, so the field already pretty damp.
Second pitch to Dunn falls low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayden Cantrell coming into this game had only had 1 hit against the Braves, and he gets 2 in his first 2 at-bats against Colby Dunlop. He comes set. Now the 1-1 delivery is a fastball high that Dunn fouls off toward the seats. Now 1 ball and 2 strike count.
Yeah, nobody warming right now for the Bravos and their bullpen over here on the third base dugout. So this is still Dunlap's inning to finish here. 1-2 has the opportunity to not only get a strikeout, but perhaps force a double play as well.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Dunlop. It hits him in the helmet. And Dunlop will walk toward home plate. Talks with Jackson Greer. And that was a fastball that hit Blake Dunn right in the center of the helmet. Lucky he's okay, but now he's on first, and Dunlop in another jam.
Yeah, and Dunlop goes as he gets the new baseball from the catcher. Greer goes up and apologizes to Blake Dunn, obviously not meaning to do that. Now runners on first and second with no out with the league's best hitter. Dunlop really needs a ground ball here. I told you, Sam, a little struggling with his release point still. Everything he's missed has been high, and we still have yet to see something in the dirt from Dunlop, which would actually, I think, be an improvement. You'd rather miss low than high when you don't have a lot of velo.
First pitch to DeLoach is fouled back toward the backstop, 0-1. DeLoach is 0 for 1, flew out to left field in his first at-bat. And Dunlop at UConn had a 7-4 record, 4.31 ERA, and 56 1/3 innings pitched. He started 10 games, came out of the pen 9 times. The only problem is opponents batted .298 against him. Falmouth is hitting well above that so far through 1 full inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch to DeLoach. It's high. Now a 1 ball, 1 strike count now. Another pitch missing high for Colby Dunlop. DeLoach, the league's batting average leader. Righty against lefty matchup. Dunlop comes set, looks back towards second. Now the 1-1 pitch to DeLoach inside on the fastball, now 2-1.
That one, besides the off-speed strike earlier in the bottom of the first inning, that was the first time we've seen a pitch miss below the belt, and that's better from Dunlop. Step out a little further on that mound, get the body to go a little farther. Usually will bring your arm down a little bit more, and you'll fire a pitch more likely to be low than high here, but still looking for just that first low strike out of Dunlop.
2-1. That's a low pitch that misses the zone on a fastball. 3 ball and 1 strike now. Zach DeLoach, we mentioned, leads the lead in average. 420 average. He only hit 200 in the spring season for the Texas A&M Aggies. So taking the league by storm has certainly been an understatement. Batted mid-260s his freshman season. He's a rising junior. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Dunlop, and DeLoach gives that ball a ride to right center field. To Giacomo moving back. That ball's gone. Zach DeLoach homers. 3 runs come across the plate for the Commodores, and now they lead at 7-2.
Well, there's a reason you don't want to fall behind to the league's best hitter, and that's exactly why. 3-1 counts. He got a fastball that was where else but high in the zone, and DeLoach did not make a mistake. Giacomo and Rivoli had no chance over in right center field, and 7 runs now in the first 2 innings for the Falmouth Commodores off the bat of Zach DeLoach.
DeLoach, that's his 5th home run of the season. Make that now 18 RBIs for him. Trey Cruz now coming up. The first pitch from Dunlop is a fastball that he fouls off. 0-1. And Dunlop frustrated on the mound. He's given up 7 runs in the first 2 innings. Time is called. There is a loose foul ball behind the plate. It was a 7-0 or 7-1 lead for the Wareham Gatemen the last time the Braves get 2 innings. That game ended up being 7-5. No more runs given up by the Braves pitching staff. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Cruz. Fouls it off first base line. Now 0-2.
Well, that's a positive if there is one to being down by a lot of runs early in a game. It's that gives you plenty of time to chip away and come back. The problem is still with nobody out in here in this bottom of the 2nd inning, Dunlop is going to have to start getting some outs and start throwing some strikes as well.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Dunlop to Cruz. It sails high. Now a 1-2 count.
Kerry Wright right now working in the bullpen. And the Braves definitely don't want to use a lot of arms, especially going up against a tough team to tomorrow.
1-2 is off speed. Cruz flies it out left field side. Fabian is moving in on it right by the line. He'll make the play for the first out of the inning.
That's a big first out there. After giving up the home run, it kind of resets the inning, and it's a good first out to get against Trey Cruz. And now here comes Taylor Smith, who already has a run scored in this ball game. He walked the last time. And Dunlop, hopefully he can build off the momentum of getting that last out.
Taylor Smith now tied for the team lead with Zach DeLoach with 5 home runs. DeLoach moves into a tie for 2nd place in the league in the home run total. First pitch is off speed from Dunlop in the zone for a strike. Smith walked for the 9th time this year. He struck out 16. The 0-1 from Dunlop. Another pitch that's high. That one too high. Now a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And what's something else to be on the lookout for, if the rain, it looks like the clouds are passing over us, so we'll be lucky. However, if it comes down, remember, it only takes 5 innings for it to be a complete game.
1-1 is a off-speed pitch from Dunlop. Now 1-2. Dunlop without a strikeout so far. Rain's coming down a little bit harder. Righty on righty matchup. Dunlop in the windup. The 1-2 delivery is a fastball outside. We'll even things up 2-2. Nobody on. It's a 7-2 lead for the Falmouth Commodores. We're only in the bottom half of the 2nd. Falmouth put up 15 runs against Chatham last night. The 2-2 pitch from Dunlop is a fastball high. That will make the count run full. 3-2.
Another fastball that misses upstairs. Now on the 3-2. We've seen a lot of fastballs out of Colby Dunlop, so I think that's probably the pitch we're likely to see here on this payoff.
Payoff pitch to Taylor Smith is off speed and high for ball 4. It's Taylor Smith's 2nd walk of the game, 10th of the season, and another runner's on with 1 out.
And here comes the rain, folks. It is starting to come down a little harder here. Is everybody taking for cover? Got the Brig umbrella here at the broadcast table.
So now it'll be Barron Radcliffe, a 2 RBI double in his last at-bat. First pitch he sees is off speed from Colby Dunlop. That's in there for a strike. Runner on first for the Commodores. 6 hits already in the first 2 innings. A 7-2 lead. Second pitch to Radcliffe is a swinging strike that's low. Now 0-2.
And Radcliffe would be a nice out to get here. He had that 2 RBI double, making it 10 in 2 games for him. He's able to get an out here against Radcliffe, even better, force a double play. It would be some momentum just for him to carry on, some confidence here.
0-2. And Dunlop gives that ball to Radcliffe. It'll go foul on a flyout. Radcliffe stays alive, 0-2. Radcliffe in his last at-bat had an 0-2 count and hit the double on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. It was a 1-2 count. 0-2 yet again. Fastball low and outside.
And for Dunlop, that's where you're going to want to miss, is that low and outside area. It's hard for a hitter to really do much damage if you keep that pitch at the highest at the knees and outside as well.
1-2 pitch from Dunlop. Radcliffe, a screamer over to the left field side in between short and third. Skips over to Fabian in left. And it's another hit for Radcliffe and the Commodores as the rain. Now it's pouring here at Gov Fuller Field. The Commodores pour on the runs, and the rain pours on us. 7-2 lead. And Radcliffe's now on first and second.
Yeah, it's starting to come down pretty hard, and Harvey Shapiro's going to go out and talk to his pitcher here. And now if you're the Braves, if we're all being honest, you want this game to get called because as it stands right now, it's not an official game. And watch out,
wow.
Now it's really coming down.
Well, folks, the rain has come. That's going to be it for Colby Dunlop. They pull him for carry right, and they pull the players off the field. So, folks, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with any more weather updates. 7-2 lead for the Falmouth Commodores. We're about to hit a huge rain delay. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube.